It's your boy Logos, and today I want to talk about the Damar Hamlin situation and the whole injury that happened to him. Honestly, in my opinion, it's sad and tragic when any player gets injured, but especially the way that he got injured and the way he just, collapsed on the field like that over what seemed like a routine play, a play that we've seen thousands of times over the years, over the decades or so, especially before when the league wasn't as strict and they wasn't worried about CTE or traumatic brain injuries or concussions or anything like that. When we had Brian Dawkins and Ed Reed and Sean Taylor and John Lynch and just all these great players and safeties who would just light dudes up when they came across the middle, or even when they go out on like deep routes and they're like a safety covering the corner and playing over the top. I always get like flashbacks of just seeing crazy hits by Brian Dawkins and even crazy hits that his teammate took, Terrell Owens. Like Terrell Owens, he took like a nasty hit from memory. I remember when Reggie Bush, he took like a horrible hit to his head during the Monday Night Football game. I saw that live and that messed me up because he really got destroyed. But last night, it was so like unexpected because he got up like it was fine and then he just suddenly collapsed. I personally don't think he collapsed due to having a vaccine or any vaccine like side effects or anything like that. I saw that going around on Twitter a little bit, but I personally don't believe it, and I don't believe it because it happened after the hit. It's not like what happened to Christian Eriksen in 2021, like in the summer when he was playing for Denmark against Finland, and he was like stumbling on the sideline, then he just fell forward in the opposite way that Damar Hamlin fell last night, and people had to go and rush to his aid, and they provided him CPR too on the sideline. But the difference is he wasn't in contact with anybody. Damar, the receiver, like hit him in the chest as they were going down at a very high speed, for football at least, and I believe that's what related to it. And I also believe that because I've been watching Antonio J. Rell. He's a surgeon, and he does like a lot of videos on YouTube, and I'm gonna link his stuff in the description. I like his stuff. He really talks about the human body and how it works. And last night, soon after what happened on the field with Damar happened, he made a little reaction video to it, explaining what happened, what it's called. I believe it's called keratosis or something like that. I have to go and see it again, but either way, I'm gonna link his video in the description because it goes into really good detail about it. Plus, I love, shouting out content creators that I feel just put in really good work into the content, and they provide really good information in the stuff they say. That's why I have no problem shouting out Officer Tatum, Kevin Samuels, Patrice O'Neal's clips that is uploaded by this one YouTube channel that I can't remember right now. There's like many YouTube people that I'm like fans of, so I'm always happy to shout those people out. And he goes into detail about the force of the impact of the hit and why that is likely what caused Damar Hamlin to collapse. So I'll link that in the description. You can go check that out. Definitely send him a like. He put in a lot of work into his craft, and he also puts in a lot of work into his MD. There ain't no joke going to medical school for that. But back to Damar. I just checked on CNN a few minutes ago, and he's still labeled as critical condition. That's another thing that makes me feel like this is different from the Christian Eriksen soccer situation. Is that Christian Eriksen, he received CPR for 9 minutes, a long amount of time, similar to Damar Hamlin, but he was woken up and able to talk and give a statement. Apparently, that's what the Danish football team says. He gave a statement saying greetings or he's good to his teammates. But as of right now, Damar Hamlin is still in critical condition and he's in ICU. From my understanding, he isn't speaking yet or he's not conscious yet. So this seems like a much more dangerous or much more volatile situation for his health and his family. I really feel bad for his family to see that on live television. That shit is really sad. To see like your family member or your friend or someone that you're close to just collapse on the field like that. And you've seen them do that hit hundreds of times because you've been following their progress since high school or middle school or elementary school. Sure, I'm willing to bet a lot of people that are around Damar has been with him since the beginning. So to see somebody like that collapse on the field in front of the world is definitely going to shake you up. And he was like gone, similar to Christian Eriksen was. They were both gone on the field, but they was able to be brought back through CPR. But those minutes probably felt like decades or centuries to those families because they don't know what's finna happen. They don't know he's finna come back. I'm only recording this after the fact in hindsight. But when they was in that situation, they didn't know how the tables would turn out for their friend or their family member, their son, their brother, their uncle, whoever it may be. It could be anybody at all that had a personal connection with him. And I know they felt their heart drop through their stomach and out their ass when he collapsed on that field. And that shit is really sad. I really do hope he's able to make a full recovery, even if it's outside of football. Because we don't know if how bad the extent of the damage may be due to him collapsing of cardiac arrest last night. Because Christian Eriksen is back on the field now. He's playing just fine. But like I said, this wasn't a contact injury for Christian Eriksen. This was, I don't know, something else. And whatever it was, the doctors deemed it was safe enough for him to go back on the field. I'm not sure how Damar Hamlin and his doctors will decide to go because this is a contact sport and he got this injury from a contact play. So, I don't know. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to act like I am. But I can only imagine, could it increase the chance of it happening again? Because if he has to make those type of hits over and over again for his profession, I'm not even sure if this is rookie year or not. I just know he's a young player. So, like, I know he hoped to at least play for like 8-10 years. Can his body and his heart do that? Can he take the chance of putting his girlfriend or mother, father, sisters, family members, friends through that every single game, thinking like this might be the game where he collapses again and this time he can't be resuscitated? Who knows? But as of right now, I just hope he wakes up and he can be as close to how he was before that hit, because from what I've seen today, after seeing like some of his plays and how much he's progressed and how much he's improved this season after stepping in from the injured safety, I believe Carlos Hyde, he's done some really great things. He's helped the Bills defense a lot. And I'm going to put that too in the description. I'm going to put that channel. It's called Thinking Football. They talk about how he's been able to help that Bills defense. And I'll definitely want to get that man his shout out, his stars for his grind. No matter if that was his last play or if he got plenty more plays to give us. I wonder how his teammates are feeling, because like you've seen that man grind from at least since training camp. I don't know how long he's been in the league, but it doesn't matter. They seen him make plays week after week that they needed him to, and improve week after week, grinding for the spot at such an early age. I can only imagine what they're feeling right now, and I don't blame them for wanting to postpone the game last night. In my opinion, I feel like it was the players that influenced the league to do the postponement and said they wouldn't play, because they literally just saw a teammate and a fellow player die on the field in front of them and have to be brought back to life before their eyes from a routine hit. Like, of course that's going to shake them. You can't help but think like, damn, that could have been me. That could be me the next play. Like, it of course it's going to influence your thinking, and it's probably going to influence your behaviors, at least for that game. It could influence some future games because they're going to be still thinking about him. And it's really sad. But personally, I think it was the players who decided to do that and postpone the game. I don't think it was the owners or the commissioner. And I'm not saying it because I think they're just pure heartless. I just feel like the players have much more invested in this. They have like their bodies, their future, their well-being, and their salary on the line. If one of them falls down or injured, the owners would just get another player to fill in the spot to the season end. And it's already near finishing. That's why I'm glad they have a players union, because in this brutal sport where your career could be cut short so easily, I wouldn't be surprised if these owners would milk these players until they can barely walk or close to it if they could. Luckily, the NFL makes so much money that the players have a lot of bargaining power, because if they don't play, nobody's going to watch the games. We watch it for their talent and their skill. So if the best players don't want to play, they're not going to make as much money. And of course, the owners of these teams want to make that happen. So I'm glad the players was able to leverage their power and their strength to say we're not going to play this game anymore. And this game isn't as important as what's going on with my teammate. I'd rather be in the hospital with my teammate or be in the locker room or home with my family than being on this field and risking my health tonight. I already seen what happens. I need some time to myself. And that's perfectly understandable. It's just a football game. They're gonna figure it out one way or another. They're gonna figure out a way to get the game reset or whatever they need to do, and it's gonna go back to normal within the league in terms of like playoff schedule and win losses, this and the other. But I feel like that's really insignificant in terms of what's happening to Damar and his family and the Bills team and players right now. You know, Stephon Diggs, he went to the hospital after the game when they postponed it and said it's over. He went to the hospital to see Damar and to check on him. He couldn't have done that if they decided to keep this game going. So I'm glad we have like a players union where they can stand up for themselves and bargain for a good contract and TV deals, and to bargain the power to not be exploited or to not force to play a game where they know it's not good for my health tonight, because I'm not focused on the game. I'm focused on somebody else. And they always tell you in sports, but especially in football, when it's so dangerous, you have to keep your head focused and on the swivel. But if you're so focused on your friend who just collapsed and died in front of you, it's hard to do that, in my opinion. But that's how I feel about the whole situation. I hope he makes a full recovery, hopefully sooner rather than later. But luckily we have the technology now to identify it and hopefully do the best we can. And that's all we can hope for. It's your boy Logos, and I'll talk to y'all next time.